on out of there. There. And this is something that you can do all day long this time of year. And you'll be surprised, you know, every now and again you're gonna catch a 4 or 5 pounder. You're gonna have to sift through a lot of the rats, unfortunately, but you know, they're still fun to catch, and they're dumb as a rock too when they're garden fry. You know, nothing that you probably want to weigh in a tournament, but every now and again, like I said, you're gonna catch a big one. So when you're targeting fry garters, you have to keep in mind kind of the, I guess, the biological instincts of a bass. So the female comes up, lays the eggs, and once they hatch, the males protect those fry for 10 to 14 days, depending on water temperature. And when that's happening, you got to think these bass are trying to keep the fry safe, of course, and you're not going to see them roaming in open water like you might other times of year. You're going to see them in fairly dense cover, you know, maybe on the edge of a grass line. But my favorite and most productive places to target remain boat docks. I think they're such a hotbed of activity for fry garden because they protect the fry from airborne predators, I think, a little bit better. They don't have to worry, you know, if it can sit up under a walkway or a platform just like that. You know, it keeps those fry safe and free from, you know, birds or anything that can come up and get them. So I think it just gives them a little bit more overhead cover and makes them feel more secure. And man, again, just something slow sinking. I can't emphasize that enough. So you got to think, balls of fry usually sit high in the water column. So they'll be, you know, 1 foot to 2 or 3 foot underneath the surface. Well, what the male bass do, they'll hang out under those fry and they'll look up. They're just constantly looking up, checking on those fry. If they feel threatened, they'll corral them, push them over to a different dock post. If you get too close to the dock when you're fishing, you'll often see them kind of move the babies a little bit to get them free from any type of threat. So with that being said, the bass is looking up, the fry are up here, and something slow falling I've found is most effective. So, you know, a wacky-rigged, again, a stick worm, Senko, something like that, something that falls slow. It's falling and it's undulating, and you know, that represents more of a threat to these fry garters than, you know, a quickly fished bait or a jig that goes right past them. You know, I want my bait hovering around that ball of fry as long as I can. And you know, once you get a little bit of practice under your belt, you can look at these, you can go into these docks and see the fry garters. You can see the balls of fry, and you can also see the male bass, and you can call your shots. I mean, you can bet $100 to your buddy that you can catch that fish. And if you get that wacky-rig, honestly, within 2-3 feet of it, most times it's gonna swim over there and bite it before it gets that far underneath the water. There he is. Told you. I mean, it's like clockwork. Right when we just pulled up to this dock, I said, there's some fry. Senko didn't get 2 inches under the water and he ate it. He's mad too. There you go. See, and that fish didn't bite out of hunger. That was just pure aggression, just instinct. Just skip your little Senko right past the fry, let it sink. I mean, you really don't even have to do much, man. Just let it dead stick. That was fun. The rigging here is pretty simple. It's a standard wacky rig. I'm using today a VMC weedless Nico hook. Got 2 big old pieces of monofilament. It can come through cover pretty easily without getting hung. I've got a little O-ring on it right there over my Senko, and I've got the hook through the O-ring. You can hook a stick worm straight through the middle, but you're not going to catch nearly as many fish on one bait. You'll still get plenty of bites, but you know, when they jump or something, they'll sling that bait off. So this helps me, instead of catching 1 or 2 fish per bait, now I can catch 4 or 5, sometimes even 6. And I've got it on 8-pound fluorocarbon line. 7-foot medium action spinning rod. Simple, man, just skip. Anybody can skip these weightless plastics around. You can have a blast doing it. There you go. Little fry garter. I'm telling you, when the bass are, and these male bass are up there guarding fry, you know, small fish, but it's hard to beat a wacky-rigged Senko. It's fun. I mean, you can catch numbers, and every once in a while you can catch some good size too, targeting these dock posts.